Hey guys and gals, Derry here from Drake Wing Game, and if some of you me on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Grace's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. It looks like you've changed too. What does she mean by that? Am I understanding her words correctly? I try to respond, but my thoughts go cloudy. The room spins. I reach out for Marion, but my fingers close tightly together. What on earth? I can't fathom what is happening to me. I fear the worst. My mind flashes back to the crippling nerve agents of the war. My knuckles and veins sting as if swarmed by hornets. My hands! I can't move them! Oh, come now, you're gonna be fine, Malcolm. Jessie's tone is stern. She has come back with a glass of something that is definitely not tea. Here, something special I liberated from the pub. It'll help you through it. She holds it to my mouth and I drink. The bitter liquid sears down my throat, lighting a fire deep in my chest. Meanwhile, Marion continues to stroke my bound fingers like a worried parent. Before my eyes, my fingers fuse together. I panic as they shrink and harden into dark, cloven hooves. A thin layer of brown fur develops around my wrists. What is this? What's going on? Marion is right. You've changed, Malcolm. Now, no more questions. Grace places a finger to my lips, then wraps a wool blanket around my shoulders. The wool feels itchy against my face, and I quickly realize that it's not the blanket on my cheeks, but slight twitches of my lips and jaw. I toss off the blanket and try to run my hand across my face, but the hoof awkwardly clips my lower jaw. My jaw juts out, cracking and lengthening. The tug is smooth as taffy being pulled. When it stops, it jolts my body, shaking me down through my neck and throat. Instinctively, I run my tongue along the inside of my cheek, and can feel blunt and narrow crescent ridges of enamel. Even my teeth are readjusting. The fire in my chest grows. My body at once shakes and expands, and my insides feel full of adrenaline. My pulse races. I cry for help, but only a strangled bleat comes out. Shh! Stay calm, Malcolm. Breathe deeply. Marion tries to pacify me, putting her hand upon my muzzle, stroking my head. I feel like a drum is beating slowly inside, and more steadily and painfully. My ears become more erect and start increasing in size. The hair on my head falls out in clumps, replaced by more fur. Small bones pierce through my scalp as antlers form atop my skull. The soft and bristly nubs continue to grow and extend as her hand moves along the fur. The antlers forcefully tear out and shed their furry covering as I bleat in terror. The hard rack must stand 2 full feet above my body height. I push Marion away and jump back, realizing too late the true significance of her intentions. She looks hurt. I'm sorry. We should never have gotten so close, Malcolm. Don't apologize. Malcolm only has himself to blame. Jessie has stepped up from behind me. She places a hand on my chest, causing the fire inside to erupt into a blaze. Immediately, my shirt tightens around my ribcage and the buttons pop, exposing a full or broader chest with a lush coat of fur. My balance becomes unsteady. All the skin below my stomach pulsates as my legs grow longer and more muscular, the calves and thighs widening enough to rip through my trousers. I fumble with my hooves to remove my belt, gagging as my torso builds out. Jessie watches my struggle, biting her lip. Let me take care of that for you. Helpless, I let Jessie work the clasp. My body continues to expand, ripping my shirt sleeves completely open. All the while, more brown fur spreads along every inch of my body. At last, the belt comes free, and my pants fall to the floor. I gasp deeply, able to breathe once more, but the relief is short-lived. I wobble on my feet, exposed, feeling humiliated, vulnerable, and defiant. Don't worry, Malcolm. You're at the tail end of this. She steps up, looking like she might offer a hand to help my balance. Instead, she gives me a hearty slap on the rump. From the point of impact, a sharp puncture blows through the back of my underclothes, and a white tail protrudes from the waistband. Surprise makes me jump and hobble across the room. Malcolm, be careful, don't get too close to the fire! It takes an effort for her words to register. I stumble away from the fireplace, tongue lolling in a panic amplified by an unfamiliar animal urge to run for the hills. Am I losing my mind? A painful impact to my foot causes me to trip, sending me crashing to my knees. To my horror, even my feet are shifting. With 2 audible ruptures, hooves blow out through my leather shoes. My shoulders collapse inward, and I fall forward onto all fours. I try to stand, flailing, and my hind legs buck near the kitchen table. Serves you right. Now maybe you'll find other lasses to fawn over. Jesse groans, but Grace's taunt still cuts me to the core. What have I become? I try and speak, but have lost my voice. I feel helpless, trapped inside my own mind. I'm going mad. I buck again. Marion, at least, looks woeful but yet supportive. I stand motionless in my new deer form until Marion comes face to face with me, cradling my new jaw and looking me in the eyes. I'm sorry, Malcolm. You have to stay away. Stop asking why. Woods for you'll no go past ye. The girls' faces are frozen in my mind as I am jolted out of the nightmare. I wake up on the ground, trembling, covered in cold night sweat. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Okay. My head aches from where it impacted the floor. My hands shake as I reach for my head, relieved to find that my skull is intact and there are no antlers or hooves. Marion's words from the dream reverberate in my mind. Wits for you'll no go past ye. It means whatever is meant to happen to you will happen to you. We heard it many a time from Miss Alana before any of us received punishment for misbehaving. Excuse me. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Never question the teacher. Oh, I don't know what the hell that is. Okay. Alrighty. I can't get back to sleep no matter how many times I roll over. Instead, I wake early and scrub my body over and over, trying to scour away the memory of the nightmare. Boar bristles tear away the entire top layer of my skin, and the burning sensation feels like a rebirth. Only after a third rinse of my face do I dare head back inside. I keep pinching my leg to assure my brain that I am awake and not still trapped in dreamland. In the living area, Gran stands at the stove and I revisit the dream. Malcolm, good morning. Did you sleep well? Oh, no, actually, Gran, I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Nightmares? I'm afraid so. Gran sets tea and sugar down on the table, sits across from me and takes my hands into hers. Malcolm, the worst is over. Don't let your heavy heart weigh you down. If I'd let that happen, I'd have left this earth right after your granddad, but there's still so much to live for. Gran, I appreciate hearing that. Even if it's not what you want, it's what you get. Then you learn to want it. Thank you, What is it? I have a funny question. Go ahead. Probably nothing stranger than I've heard on a Sunday morning in the pews. Well then, I decide to be blunt. Have you heard any strange rumors about the MacLeod family? Anything that could make you stay away? Grant doesn't even blink. Never. Really? Listen, my boy, I'll be clear with you. A few people were fussing about when the girl's mother passed away years back. I had heard Owen may have taken a liking to another woman in town. I couldn't tell you who, and me perhaps was not the most doting father to those lovely young women, but no. No doubts have I ever raised about the kindness of that family. This right here makes me think it was Alana. Because those girls have Fae magic. Alana is without a doubt a Fae. This makes me wonder. She does seem awfully protective of those girls, does she not? I couldn't tell you who, and perhaps was not the most dating father to those lovely young women, but no doubts have I ever raised about the kindness of that family. Relief washes over me, cleansing me stronger than any soap or bristles could. Grant's assurance has that power. It makes me happy to hear. Why in the world would you ask me that? Just idle chatter, Grant. You know those rumor mills. They never stop churning. I eat quickly, barely chewing my eggs, bid my grandmother a good day and get to work. Atop the stable's roof, the air, sun, and embracing wind cleanse my spirit. The sun winds through the sky as I diligently patch the holes one by one. I lose myself to the blessed haze of simple manual labor. By noon, I have to remind myself to take a break. I don't want a repeat of yesterday's marathon, triggering another night of frightful sleep. Stepping cautiously down from the roof, I take one ladder rung at a time. Then I address my options for the afternoon, fully aware that every decision I make in my life is now completely up to me. Take Hazel for a ride. After waking with such a strange pit in my stomach, I found that the day's work has done little to dissolve it. I pour myself a whiskey and eat nearly a loaf of sourdough, then gather my courage to face little Miss Hazel. Good news, my faithful steed. Your stable is officially watertight and hole-free again. No more moonbeams keeping you awake at night. Her glare doesn't exactly exude enthusiasm. How ungracious. Well, my dear, I thought perhaps we might celebrate the occasion with a short stroll out to the waterfront. Do you have any opinion on that? Hazel shakes her fuzzy head, braying as she swivels to and fro. I offer her a bunch of dirty carrots which she huffs at, and reluctantly munches out of my hand. Atta girl. Now how about we saddle up and head out for some fresh air? Hazel's pace is slow and meandering, but I tolerate it in spite of my eagerness to reach the special spot along at the water's edge. Granddad would take me there as a kid, where he'd spin stories of seafarers and monsters and Highland tales of all colors. It holds a special place in my heart, and not just for the commanding view. There's just something about the sky reflecting off the water, being able to see nothing and everything all at once. It's a tried and true way to rest the mind and soul. The afternoon sun is strong, like a stiff drink. It's hard to see the horizon as I'm blinded by the shine. Just being out alone in the open is so relaxing. Having the freedom to explore the countryside, to be back home, to be alive and in one piece. It is at once startling and humbling. I can finally go where I want, when I want. The notion is overwhelming. My eyes well up and my throat closes. Ah, Miss Hazel. Mother Earth has gotten to me. She's blessed me more than I deserve. I pat Hazel's shoulder and she takes off in a harder trot. The gratitude is motivating you, eh? I'll tell you. I was saved. I don't know how or why, but I have to accept it. Cherish the gift as it was given. Why don't you remind me of this if you ever see me down again, dear girl? She accepts my words into her confidence. I run my hand through her knotted mane and we continue closer to the loch, enjoying the quiet sounds of nature. My nose catches a deep piscine scent wafting up the coast. The wind carries a salt mist, through which I glimpse something in the water. It drifts lightly along with the currents and bobs under. A seal, perhaps. The odd sea creature is known to swim up into the loch now and again. I still remember the excitement a whale managed its way right up to the town docks when I was a kid. What a sight it was. Whatever it is resurfaces a few yards closer and starts swimming the breaststroke. My jaw drops on me as it dawns on me that she's not a sea creature at all. Is that really Grace? My, it must be freezing cold in there. Did she take the plunge by choice? She stands up in the shallows and the blonde hair brushing her shoulders is unmistakable. I start to call out to her when my senses suddenly register an important detail. She doesn't appear to be wearing a bathing suit. My cheeks instantly flush. And that is where I'm going to pause it. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Katie Silverman. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Tresem Guy. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier anyway. If y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work content as little as $5 already. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.